Hello, everybody. This is Andy Smith, your host with the most, 33-year veteran of the comic book industry, with this week's book look. A little different this time. This book is a collection of strips that were only published online. If you know me, you know I'm a huge Tarzan fan. I didn't even know about I knew about the Edgar Rice Burroughs website, but I didn't know they were publishing like weekly strips with such quality work being done. Guys, go check it out. I'll try and post the link I'll post the link in the description below. This collects Tarzan: The New Adventures, written by Roy Thomas, with art by Thomas Grinberg and Benito Gallego. Tom Grinberg, you remember him from the 80s, 90s. He was really, really big Neil Adams looking work. I liked his Batman stuff. I really liked that period of his work. Then in the early 90s, maybe mid 90s at Marvel, he got a little more Mike Mignola, which was kind of cool, and incorporating Frank Frazetta, which of course Mike is influenced by. Now this Tarzan work, the stuff he's doing now, very Frazetta influence, really cool. Benito is really, really heavily influenced by John Buscema, which you'll see as we go through the book. All right, let me pull the camera back here so we can go through this. Look how close we are. This is a wide format book. Volume 1. I think Volume 2 is out. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. This one itself came out in, drumroll, 2022, so not that long ago. It's a book you can probably still find. Let me try and zoom in a little bit. There we go. I think that'll work. Nice introduction, and then we get into it. Get into a nice daily strip here. Number 3693. I believe all the Tarzan strips have been numbered since the beginning. So Tom is just really great here with the animals, Tarzan, the structure. Like I said, you can really see leaning into Frank Frazetta, which I think is actually really cool. Like I said, Tom did come from more of a Neil Adams school way back when he first started, but now he's really leaning into Frazetta, which, like I said, I think is really cool. I don't know who's doing the coloring, and these were originally printed back in 2012, so the book came out 10 years later. I'm going to say maybe Tom's doing the coloring. I'm not really sure. But if you like Tarzan and you want to get that great old school vibe of Tarzan, I would definitely get this book. Look how Frazetta that is. It's just great. And you can see some of the Mignola too. But like I said, Mignola was heavily influenced by Frazetta. It's great. I love this brush feathering he's doing on this stuff. And like I said, if you're a Tarzan fan, these strips are great. I'm not sure why they're going from thinner like this to thicker. That's strange. You'd think they'd keep the same format of the stuff. So, yeah, that's weird. And then it kind of goes back. A little inconsistency. There's the drapery he has. The way he's spotting the black areas on this stuff. And I do know that the pay for these strips is not great. I mean, the guys doing this stuff are doing this for the love of it, not because, you know, they're making bank on this weekly strip. So I know that much. I like the scanning too, because I don't know if it shows up for you guys, but if you really look at it, you can see that the ink isn't a nice solid flat black. You can see some of the grays in it and stuff. Look at that, very strong right there. Just love that. Really like the lighting and stuff he's doing on it. I don't know what Tom's up to these days. Art is a journey, and, you know, we all start off wearing our influences on our sleeves, I think, and then eventually you kind of grow and realize, you know what, I'm influenced by this and that, and, you know, even as you grow as an artist, you'll gain different influences and try to incorporate them in your work. You know, whether the normal person can see it or not, I love that long shot right there. Is a different story, but it's always good to experiment and just keep moving on, keep moving forward with your work. Don't get stagnant. Look at that horse. Holy crap, that is freaking cool. Just great lighting. I mean, the lighting he's doing on this stuff, like I said, it's really Frazetta, but you can see Mignola in it as well, because Mike studied black placement and shadows and stuff from Frazetta, even design, and then just took it to another level. It's a little Filipino looking in here, a little Nestor Redondo looking in some of this work as well. I think Tom did most of the book, and then I think, you know, he left the strip and Benito took over. That's very nice. I like the women, very Frazetta-esque, very full-figured, a little chunky, but in a good way. And I like the subdued colors as well on it. Yeah, I mean, we're 64 into this book. I don't know how many pages the full thing is. I probably should have looked. And it's still Tom. But I will say that the next artist do it. Oh, here we go. All right, so the color is different. So maybe maybe Tom was coloring his stuff and Benito's coloring his. But you can see the John Buscema vibe in this stuff. So it's really nice. You know, you've got this, and then you've got the current Conan book being drawn by Roberto Della Torre, who's very heavily influenced by Buscema. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it'd be different if John was still with us and able to draw comics and stuff, but he's not. And when I think Tarzan, I think Joe Kubert and John Buscema, so I don't have a problem with this at all. And same with Conan. When I think Conan, I think John, and Roberto's doing a great job with it, bringing his own style. And I think Roberto does it a little bit better than Benito, but, you know, I think this stuff is great. Fantastic. I mean, look at that. And I don't remember. I want to say, I spoke to him, I asked him once, I want to say a lot of this is on the computer, which is sad because I think it was maybe when this book came out, I messaged him on Facebook about buying an original, and he said, can't. They're all done on the computer, which is a shame. I was talking to somebody last night, and we were talking about comics, and I was explaining to him that this new generation, a lot of artists are computer only. And, you know, okay, that's something you want to do, but if you ever want to have art sales, forget it. And I know people are like, well, I've got this one-off print I'll do, and I'll put it on really nice paper, and I'll put a stamp on it. And I've heard people trying to sell those for like $500-600, and it's like, yeah, I'm not paying $500 for a nice black and white copy. I don't care what type of paper it's on. I'm just not doing it. And I think if you're an art collector, you're kind of a fool for doing that as well. I mean, there's a difference if it's like a painting and it's a great lithograph, you know, I guess, print, because I know those sell. But, you know, if the guy wanted to sell it for, you know, $100 or something, 150, okay. But I don't know. You can share in the comments what your opinion is on that. But my point is, you know, 30 years from now, there's going to be less original artwork out there, which for guys like me, I think is good because, you know, I'm young. I plan to be around in 30 years. Hopefully my artwork will have gone up. Look at that. Great looking. I mean, just John Buscema looking. I like the color too. I like theatrical coloring, purples. It's at night, so purples and stuff. And then you get flashback here and sepia tones, burnt umber tones and such. This is a cool story with this wacky, almost Frankenstein type scientist. Look what it did to that ape. Twixt jaws and claws. Ooh. They said I'll link to the ERB website. I think strips are still up. I haven't visited it in a while, and I think they're free. That I can't, I'm not sure, so don't quote me. And then I'll link to this book if it's still available, and if there's a volume 2, I'll link to that as well. Very nice. This is real Kubert looking too. I can easily say I'm a little jealous. I think this would have been awesome. I would have loved drawing a Tarzan strip like this. But once again, I know what the pay is, and I'd have to win the lottery first. Because to do pencil inks and colors on something like this would take me probably 3 days. And yeah, just can't do it. So there you go. And then we get bios of the people and stuff. Benito is from Spain. I've actually seen some of his work and comics before. His first professional comic assignments were with Royal Anthem and Captain Thunder and Blue Bolt stories. I have this Anthem book that he did, and that's where I first discovered him and was like, oh my God, John Buscema drawing superheroes again. And I knew it wasn't John, but just saying. So then Tom Grinberg, you can see his George Bridgman influence for sure in the work. Frank Frazetta, Roy Krenkel, and we all know Roy Thomas. So there you go. And some other Tarzan books that have been put out. This was Dark Horse, even a cool looking statue there. But that's it for this week's book look. A little shorter one for you to bite off and consume. Just try and do that. No. Let me zoom back in on this cover for you. There you go. And of course, if you like this stuff, please like, subscribe, and share my channel around. More subscribers always helps. And of course, KOR-DRATH The Awakening is my new project, which is live on Indiegogo. We are getting close to the $50,000 stretch goal of unlocking the first playable character card featuring Vordoom the Undying. If you're like, whoa, that's a rad name. Who's Vordoom the Undying? Well, that means you haven't read KOR-DRATH The Reckoning, the first book. That's also available on the campaign. We're going back to print with a new Budroot cover, so go check that out, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Like I said, here is the KOR-DRATH trailer. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.